Hello and welcome back to Roads Yet Traveled. We will be continuing where we left off, which, if you recall, is after meeting Reese officially. Like, we were briefly introduced at the very beginning, but the captain seemed kind of like put off and sort of like, yeah, Tucker, you might want to go now because I need to deal with this guy. And then eventually he showed up again. He came knocking, caught Tucker by surprise, and took him out for some tea. And you got to know him a little bit more, I suppose. Um, you've also found out that apparently Socknose has known about Tucker for a while, and they have some information on him that even these guys right here and the captain probably didn't have, which is his dietary restrictions and some other information. They even had a translator for him already ready, which is very suspicious. The fact that they had all of this already, and these guys have been struggling to like figure out Tucker right now. So what does Socknose know that these guys don't know? So like, yeah. And at least for me, despite the fact that Reese seems very nice, very like, oh, I want to know more about you, Tucker. I want to know, like, I want to get to know you, etc., etc. I don't trust him because he just seems like he has an ulterior motive. And despite the fact that he says that he doesn't, I still don't trust that. So, like, yeah. Anyways, we'll of course be seeing more of Reese right now, so buckle up. But yeah, what else? Got to see a little bit more of Rowan. He seemed a little perturbed by the fact that Reese has some interest in him. Well, in Tucker, I mean. And for me, at least, it came across as like, oh, somebody is interested in my friend? I don't think so. But of course, Rowan being Rowan, then, you know, it's just Rowan. Anyways, so yeah, I guess without further ado, let us continue Roads Yet Traveled. That's not really how I expected that to go. I mean, I guess it was better? But like, ugh. I'm gonna need to have a long conversation with Rowan later. Another one. Beginning to slowly trudge back to my room, I tried to go over everything that happened in my head. There was a lot, and I'm sure that I missed a few things even, but like, was he being genuine? By the fucking eye, I hope that he was. But from everything that I've seen around here, I just can't be certain. For all that I know, he could have just sat me down and fed me propaganda for like half a mark. Ugh, this sucks. We're only as good as our word, huh? Well, I'll hold him to that. At least then, if he makes even one slip up, I'll know what side he lands on. Certainly a lot easier to determine than most of the other people around here. Do I need to, like, report some of this stuff? A working translator and some unknown amount of medical data? Fuck, if the captain hears about that, she's gonna go ballistic. Void, Tyr probably won't be too happy to hear about that either. Ugh. At least I should probably have a bit of time before he reaches out again. I can't imagine that he's not going to be busy doing all of those evaluate. Hold on a minute. He's like a priest? How in the void is he going to evaluate any of these projects? I mean, I guess he can read a technical layout just as well as anyone, but like, that seems weird to me. Maybe he's just here to give them a big stamp of approval or something? I guess I could always ask. Some other time though, no reason to bother him now. In fact, he didn't seem to have much direction at all, really. I know Socknose has a tendency to keep people uninformed, but this feels strange. I'm sure that he knows more than he's letting on, but still. He certainly strikes me as someone who gets things done, even if he's a bit different than what I expected. I guess he just fits the role. Heading through the security partition, I notice a tray in front of the room, and can only assume that it's what was supposed to be my lunch. No Milo, though. Flipping open my monitor, there is a distinct lack of messages as well. Maybe they thought that I was sleeping? Well, that or they just left in a hurry. Either way, it looks cold now, but I might as well have something to eat. Void knows 2 sips of tea won't subside me till dinner. Speaking of though, a slight cold washes over me as I stand in the threshold. There is no wind here, and yet... Heading in, I take off my shoes and notice that I'm still alone. Quickly hide the note that I left for Rowan. No need for him to read that now. He might as well hear about it from me. Not that he's gonna be happy either way, but I figured talking is preferable than just reading a hastily scrawled last will. Speaking of though, I have no idea what his schedule is anymore. Not that I have a great grip on it either. But now that Reese is here, I can't imagine that he's going to have much free time. I'll just ask him when he gets home. If he gets home. Well, at least things are happening. Now I just gotta make the best of it. Time passes quite fast as I lap up some cold soup until eventually I grow worried and go check my monitor, only to be met with a text that I must have missed. Although, it's not from a contact that I recognize. Tucker? Yes? Who is this? There's a short delay before a response pops up. This is your captain speaking. That's... Sure. You know what? Okay. Oh, what's up? That was way too formal. I wanted to give you an update. I've managed to put my thoughts together about our newest crewmate, and while I don't have full access to the Socknos master files from here, I've looked into what I could. I must say though, I found worryingly little. This shepherd almost seems to be a nobody. A few charity cases here and there, but I'm shocked someone with such little presence could have risen through the ranks so quickly. But this all goes to say, Tucker, I don't trust it. It or him? Any of it. I don't know what the board is trying to do here, but there is certainly something they want. But I don't understand. Doesn't Socknos run this whole station? If they wanted something, couldn't they just take it? Not quite. They might employ some 90% of the workforce here, but the station is not theirs. Huh? During their foundation, the IAN government funded most of their initial research and development, including the creation of the Icaroid 2. They still hold claim to some of its initial assets. I still don't understand, sorry. Without IO's approval, there is no testing of the May Run. Without the May Run, there is no Icaroid 2. Does that make it clearer? Oh, I guess that makes sense. But I thought she worked for Socknos too. She clearly holds a vendetta against them, or at least the higher-ups. Right. So, what should I do? That is the question. To be clear, I'm not entirely sure what it is that Socknos wants to achieve from all of this. They clearly know about you, that much was made obvious yesterday. But if it's research they want, they can have it. Senno's done a good enough job cataloging what he can, and I see no reason to keep it from them now. Despite myself, Tyr did make a breakthrough bringing you here, and that is something that they cannot ignore. As a byproduct though, I'm sure that you've piqued their interest. Oh great, I've always wanted to be a byproduct. Well, she's right about one thing. I'm certainly got someone interested in me. So what? I should just stay out of the way as we planned? Unfortunately for you, Tucker, the plans have changed. Since the word seems to have slipped that you're among us now, I see no reason for you to hide. It will do us all no good. No, I have a more important job for you. Our guest yesterday seemed rather infatuated with you, didn't he? I guess you could say that. I would. He asked me about you after you left. Did you know that? It was hard to even get him to go over his damn schedule with all the questions that he was asking. No, I want you to learn what you can about him. I don't like having some unknown variable on my ship, and him? I don't trust him. What does that make me then? You, Tucker? If I were afraid of you, you would still be in that cell. Take it as a compliment that I'm trusting you with this, alright? She has such a way with words. Sure. Good. I assume that he'll attempt to reach out to you at some point. Just try to be cordial, will you? Seems like things have been progressing whether she'd have wanted them to or not. Still, at least my actions earlier have been officially sanctioned. Yes, Captain. Good. Do you have any questions? One. It's unrelated, I'm sorry. You said that the station isn't wholly under Sokno's command, right? Correct. So where does that leave you? Somewhere in the middle, as I've always been. Officially, I am an alien pilot under Sokno's contract. Unofficially, I'm a lower board member and take most of my orders from there. That's not to say that I can particularly agree with either side, but I do what I can. I'm surprised Sokno's would let someone not under their direct employ to be in such a high position. I'm sure that there is something being left out. Still, that explains how she can get away with talking so much shit about them, and how they can get away with leaving her in the dark about certain things. Will that be all? One more thing. It's fast, I promise. Make it so. Are you messaging me from your big arm cable right now? Yes. That's so cool. With whatever that was out of the way, I'll message you in a few days to check up. Please do try and find a way to get something useful out of all of this, okay? Will do, Captain. Good. Till we speak again. Pocketing my monitor, I let out a small sigh and leaned back. Somehow, it's both reassuring and terrifying to know that even if I had fucked up by speaking with Reese this morning, I was going to be asked to do it anyways. Man, it's going to be a bitch to explain all of this to Rowan. I really hope that he doesn't see it as me going behind his back or something. I really don't want to be playing both sides right now. This sucks. I'm getting worked up over nothing. I've already met Reese. Job complete. Now I just have to report to the captain about what tea he likes. Yikes. What kind of information did she expect me to get actually? He's left me with more questions than answers, and it's not like he seemed like he had a great grasp of any of what's going on either. Well, I know that he's probably going to reach out again sooner rather than later, so I guess I should just keep an open mind and maybe take some notes or something. I'm not sure how well any prying questions would go over. Despite seeming a bit aloof, it seemed like he was pretty sharp. Really makes me wonder how he ended up where he is now. Well, can't do anything about it now. Picking at the rest of my lunch, time starts to skip by as the minutes turn to marks, and before long, the day has almost gone by. Which normally would be fine, but I seem to still be missing a roommate. Are they ever going to make it home tonight, or are things worse out there than I imagined? I should shoot him a text. It's getting late. I hope all is well. You gonna make it home tonight? There is a pause before a response slowly rolls in. Probably not. Sorry. I got lost for like 3 marks today trying to find something that turns out was only like 2 doors down from our rooms. I've still got a few things that I need to check up on top of needing to finalize everyone's schedules for tomorrow. I might just sleep in my office. Sorry. I'd almost ask if he does that often, but I suddenly realized that I feel like I know the answer already. Oh, okay. I just wanted to check in. Thanks, bud. I appreciate it. Oh, tomorrow I'm fixing some of the lights in our hallway, so maybe I'll get to see you then. Wait, what? Wouldn't you be able to see me anyways? Well, I might still be busy after that, so I don't really know right now. Oh, alright. Well, get some rest, Rowan. You too. Sighing, I put my phone down for the night and lay back exhausted for a variety of reasons. It's dumb to miss someone that I only saw yesterday, but as I roll over and look at the empty bed across from me, I cannot but feel something. Ugh, this is stupid. Flicking off the lights, I get as comfortable as I can and simply pray that tomorrow will bring something. A void. I don't know at this point. Just something. Day 22. What? Groggily reaching over, I pick up my monitor and attempt to answer it. Hello? Hello? Wait a minute. I can't get calls. Sighing, I rub my eyes and sit up, flicking on my suddenly all too bright monitor. Hello there, Comet. I am outside. What? Huh? No response. Blinking slowly, I turn to the door and see nothing. Am I still dreaming? Throwing off my covers, I quickly put on a shirt and hobble over, the lights from the hallway partially blinding me in the process. Looking out, however, there is a certain wayward shepherd there, waiting for me. Ah, good morning, Comet. Did you rest well? Reese, why are you here? I thought perhaps you would be interested in joining me today. My schedule was finalized and I saw that I had some free time today, so I thought I would reach out. I have quite a few things that I need to attend to, and I would appreciate the company. Or at least a guide. He says with a small chuckle. Sure. I mostly just meant like, why are you here? I thought that I said that you didn't have to come and get me. You can just message me. Wait a fucking minute. Did I not? I apologize if so. I'm still quite new to all of this. Huh. That's not what I meant, Reese. Oh. I almost feel bad when he looks genuinely abashed at that. It's, look, it's fine. Just, maybe message me before you show up next time, okay? Next time? Am I really inviting this into my life? Although, thinking back on what the captain asked of me, I'm not sure that I have a choice. Ah, of course. I'll see to it. Well, shall we? Shall we what? Head out? As much as I enjoy our conversations, I do need to see to some things. Give me a minute. I'm not even dressed. An eyebrow perks as he looks me up and down, only for the faintest blush to appear in his pale ear. Of course. I will wait out here. Thanks. Closing the door, I head in and flip on the lights, only to stand in the center of the room and just sigh. Rowan's gonna have my fucking head at this point. Throwing on what I can, I quickly ready myself for whatever may come my way. Going to pocket my monitor, I catch a reflection of myself in the black glass. My face is torn up and churned from the fractures, and yet... Brushing aside my hair, I put on a small smile and make my way outside. Reese, as puzzling as ever, seems to once again not have moved an inch. He does, however, perk up as I walk out, a small smile creeping onto his muzzle. Shall we? Yeah, sure. Still a bit timid, I follow behind him as we sweep through the halls, catching quite a few eyes in the process. If it wasn't weird enough seeing me walk around by myself, I can't imagine how strange it must be to see me with a shepherd. Reese, however, has been surprisingly quiet since he picked me up earlier. Reese?
Yes, Comet?
What exactly are we doing today? I'm fine coming along with you, I was, just curious.
Oh, of course. Well, I believe that I am to check in on a few projects on this floor, just to make sure everyone is up to date.
Projects like...
Well, I am not quite sure.
You don't know?
I was given an extensive list of all the projects and who led them, and yet the descriptions were lacking. I was hoping to be elucidated as to their import when I arrived, and I figure that there's no one better to tell me such than project leads themselves, no?
Sure. I guess that's not entirely strange. Not only has he only recently gotten this position, but he's also not particularly technically orientated in his work. At least not in the way that I'm sure some of these project leads are. Maybe they were just trying to make things easy for him? Still, it begs the question, why am I here? Have you done something like this before?
Similar things, but not quite the same.
Do you even know what to look for? It feels a bit rude to ask, but I can't help but be curious.
I believe that will depend on the project, Comet. Crew cohesion is the most important thing, as always, but there are other variables to keep an eye out for.
Oh, so he's not just looking for technical issues and things like that. I guess that makes a bit more sense. So what's first then?
From what I understand, it's some sort of engineering project, something about trying to improve the efficiency of our solar arrays.
Oh, like the solar panels and stuff?
Have you heard of them?
We have stuff like that back where I'm from, yeah. He lets out a small huff and smiles.
You have yet to cease to amaze me, Comet.
Thanks. With a slight grin, he nods and continues down the hall, bringing us to an innocuous door. Well, almost so. The sheer amount of dents and scratch marks on the threshold and surrounding floor are certainly an indicator of something that goes on in there. Rolling up his sleeve, Reese raises a paw gently and raps on the door, giving it 3 gentle but solid taps.
Hello, this is Director Reese Dino of Socknose. May I come in? I believe you are expecting me?
From the other side, I can hear a muffled conversation and a bit of scrambling before someone actually comes our way. As the door slowly slides open, an older Karain in a gray uniform steps out to greet us. Director, I am so glad that you could join us in person. I'm sorry to say that I've not been acquainted with you yet, but I knew your predecessor, and he was a good man. I hope we can work well together.
Oh, as do I.
Reese then extends his paws facing up, to which the other man mimics the pose but mirrored, almost cupping them. Is this a handshake or something? Either way, it's interrupted as the other man finally notices me and jolts back a bit.
Why the... Is that one with you? Oh, pardon me. Yes, this is Comet. He will be joining us today. Is that all right?
The man gives me a wily stare before nodding and stammering out a...
Yes, of course, sir. Well, shall we? Please.
Stepping into the lab, it isn't much different than any of the others that I've been in so far. Perhaps a few of the tables have been cleared out to make room for some workbenches and machinery, but that's about it. There's also a few other Karain mingling around, most of which are predictably staring, but surprisingly more seem to be staring at Reese than me. I guess it is kind of a big deal that he's here. Still, it's pretty funny that they've chosen to gawk at a fellow Karain rather than the literal alien in the room.
Well, we should start over here, sir.
The older Karain says as he walks over to a table and begins giving what I can only assume is a hastily prepared presentation. To his credit though, it does sound interesting. I'm not sure that I follow all of it, as he brings up a few overly scientific terms, but overall it seems pretty simple. Better solar panels for more energy production. I'm a bit confused as to why a space-faring species like the Karain would need something like extra energy from solar panels, especially when it sounded like the gains might be kind of meager. But I can't pretend to know much about anything that goes on beyond these walls.
And what is this? That's one of the solar cells. It's what turns the light into an electrical field. And this? A junction. That's where the electrical field is turned into something that we can use. And this? That is a welding torch. And what is it for?
Well, it's used to build the frames, but it's not really part of the panels, sir. A bit confused, the older Karain carries on with the tour, showing off some graphs and projected applications for the project. Here it's made a bit clearer that this kind of product would be best served for smaller communities, like those on Urion and Reich. I guess the infrastructure there isn't really up to par in some places. As the tour wraps up though, the older Karain walks us over to his desk and checks his monitor.
So, as you can see, things are developing a bit ahead of schedule. Although, I've heard that there might be some budget cuts soon. Can I ask if that's true? I've been told that we're to consolidate some of our projects as things are moving, unpredictably, back on the home front. I am unaware, however, if this will affect you directly, but I am sure that you will find out in due time.
Right.
Did you have any questions then? How soon do you think this project will be able to enter full production? What you've shown us is impressive, but it should be less than a cycle now. We are still waiting for some contracts for some ancillary parts though. Will that be all? I believe so. Come now, Comet. We've places to be.
With as little as a nod to say goodbye, Reese turns and starts striding to the door, leaving me dumbfounded in his wake. Taking one last look at the crew, who look equally bewildered, I can only offer a confused shrug as I move to catch up with Reese in the hallway. What was that? You didn't want to ask any more questions or anything?
Oh, did you have questions that you wanted to ask? We can always go back if you'd like.
No, I just figured that you'd want to learn more about what they were doing or something.
I saw what I needed to.
And that was...
that they probably won't finish their work before they run out of funds.
What? How can you tell?
A few cycles ago, Soknos gave some grants to those working on projects with the goal of finding alternative forms of energy production. Some of them have borne fruit, while others, well, they languish. That is not to say that their time has been wasted, but... well, we cannot wait for results any longer.
Shouldn't you have told them that? What they were doing sounds important.
I'm sure it is. But it's not my place to interject. I am simply here to observe, not pass judgment.
And without so much as a smile, Reese turns and starts heading down the next hallway. This is not a side of the shepherd that I was hoping to see, but I guess it's not wholly unexpected either. It certainly explains something of how he got his position. Still, what does he see in me then? Reese and I go through a few more lab tours over the next couple of marks, and all of them go about the same as the first. I don't bother asking Reese what he thinks of them anymore. I can tell that it's all the same. Most of them ask about budgets or funding, to which he always just gives the same vague reply. I think he knows, of course, but it's not his place to judge. Although, he does seem sad about it. Not in a way where he's offered anyone any form of solace or advice, no. More that it's affecting him, which almost feels more callous in a way. Maybe he just didn't know what he signed up for, although I doubt that for some reason. After another mark or so, he pulls me aside and tells me that it's time for a break, guiding us to a small hallway with some seats and a vending machine. Grabbing something for himself and surprisingly something for me, he sits down and lets out a small sigh.
Well, that was quite the morning, A few more days like that and I might have to consider taking a day off, Is something wrong, Comet?
Just everything we saw today felt so important. How could Soknos shut any of it down? He perks up a bit, bringing a paw to his chest as his mood seems to shift to worry.
Everything here is important, Comet. But there's only so much that can be done, and, well... I'm sorry. It wasn't my wish to make you feel so conflicted this morning.
It's not your fault, Reese. But how do you feel about all of this? Surely someone with such a humanitarian background would be interested in the completion of some of these works, yeah?
Of course, but I can't get caught up in worrying about what could be, Comet. Any project here could be a boon to many, but our wealth is not endless, and we are not always afforded the luxury of time.
I understand.
That is more than I could ask. I simply wanted to show you what could be, what we as a species can accomplish. We are a very complicated people, and yet, when needs align...
He gestures around as if to point to the station itself.
Grand things can happen. Occasionally. So, thank you for joining me today.
You really just wanted the company, huh?
Perhaps.
Can I ask a question?
Of course.
What would Reese the shepherd do here?
Reese the shepherd would have likely run out of funds.
He says, gently laughing into an open paw.
No, that is an interesting question, Comet. Although you misconstrue my being. There is no Reese the shepherd. There is only Reese, Dino, simply the man before you.
You're right. Sorry.
No need. What I said is true, though. I have been known for my liberal use of funds. Never for myself, of course, but running relief programs, as I've had never been cheap, nor had it ever been profitable. Two things I find Karain quite like these days.
Are you sure you're a good fit for the board?
Of that I am more certain than anything. Opinions are one thing, but vision? No, Soknos' vision for the future is one that I share without a doubt in my heart. That is why I am a good fit for the board, why these small losses leave me unmoved. I just have to focus on tomorrow.
And what of the day after that? Almost caught aback, his eyes widen before he tilts his head and smiles.
Well, we will just have to wait and see.
The rest of our break feels a little awkward as the both of us take some time to ourselves, not ignoring the other, merely giving them some space, I suppose. This Karain is still a stranger to me, and yet... I'll be damned if he's not doing a fucking good job at trying to ingratiate himself to me. He's at least done more than almost everyone else here has. Still, I need to be somewhat wary about him. I really don't know why he's here or what Sognos wants from all of this. It's certainly not better solar panels though, that's for sure. Well, the day had to slow down at some point. Reese said that he had to go take care of something and asked if I'd be okay waiting. I stupidly said yes, and well, here I am, stuck in some empty hallway with nothing to do. I should really ask Tyr if he can put games on my monitor or something. I missed that bird one. About half a mark passes and I idly chew on whatever the void Reese brought me earlier before he comes back around the corner.
Ah, Comet, are you ready?
Huh? Without explanation, he beckons I follow, and without much else to do, I shake myself off and follow behind.
I'm afraid that our day may be cut short. I have a few meetings that I'm going to need to attend to, and while I'd love for you to join me, most of them are going to be quite confidential. I hope you understand.
Yeah, of course. So, where are we going then?
Well, before that, there was one last thing that I'd like you to join me for.
Obtuse as always. I'm starting to think that it's just some built-in Karain mannerisms at this point. Yeah, sure. I say, clearly suspicious. Whether he picks up on that or not, he doesn't respond, simply smiling and leading the way.
I must say, for the first time being in space, I certainly expected things to be different. Having gravity like this is a luxury, I know, but it does leave one to wonder. When I arrived only a few days ago, I was already so used to floating around that I almost fell out of my seat when we entered the station's orbit. Have you been in space before, Comet?
Me? No.
Oh? But I thought your species had achieved similar goals in traversing the stars.
Not like this.
Oh.
So, if this is your first time in space, I assume that you haven't been to Reich or Urion yet, right?
Ah, no, I have not. I do hope to get to go at some point during my tenure, though.
Is that normal for Crane? To have not traveled between planets?
Unfortunately so. There is traffic and commerce, yes, but it is limited.
I guess that kind of lines up with what I've heard. It's not like Rowan's really been to any other planets either.
Do you wish to go to them, Comet?
Other planets? Of course. From the second that I heard that you got more than one, I've been fascinated.
Do you have a preference?
Like, if I had to pick one? Io, I think. I have, a friend who's from New Sela, and he says it's lovely. I can't imagine staring out into an alien ocean.
Ah, from port to port, the city is indeed beautiful. No more than at dawn, when Arius breaches the bay. I hope that you can reach them one day, Comet. I really do. There are beautiful things out there. You just have to find them. Ah, in here, please.
Almost cutting himself off, he gestures to an elevator that we've just arrived at. Without another word, we hop in and quickly arrive at another floor. Are there things out there that you want to see, Reese? Besides Reich and Urion?
A few. I've still yet to visit every city in Io.
Oh, that's fun. How many do you have left?
2.
Oh, 2 out of
5, I believe.
5 cities?
Indeed.
There must be something lost in translation here. He must mean capitals or something.
Ah, here we are.
Wait a minute. How did I not realize where we were going until now? We're going in there?
Yes?
The captain's office?
Yes?
This was a non-confidential meeting?
Oh, he says with a slight chuckle. Merely non-confidential for you, Comet. Now, shall we?
As he gently holds the grand doors open, I cannot but worry if this is like a conflict of interest or something. I mean, not but 2 days ago, she saw me off so quickly and now I'm back. With Reese? Ugh, she's going to be so pissed. Unable to take his controlling stare any longer, I concede and walk through the doors into the all-too-familiar receptionist's office.
Director Dino? A pleasure. What brings you here? I believe the captain is expecting us.
Us? A single brow perk as she notices me off to the side.
I believe the meeting was just between you and Captain Bell, sir. Oh, he won't be a fuss. It's fine.
The way that he says it, so soft but in a way that the receptionist twists her muzzle, I can tell that she has little choice.
If you would.
As if to turn the knife, he gently gestures to the door. Her eyes shift between the both of us before she sighs and types something in her monitor, the door cracking ajar.
She is expecting you, sir. May the eye be in your favor.
Is the last thing that he says before bowing and slipping through the door. With one worried glance back at the desk, noting the uncomfortable energy left in the room, I slip in behind him. The antechamber feels cold, especially now, as I trail a few steps behind Reese. He seems to be moving with a certain fervor, not even so much as holding the door for me as he walks into the captain's office. As much as I appreciate your dedication, Director, must you be so prompt with your meetings? I was just about to. What is he doing here?
Tucker, is he not free to go as he wishes?
The captain sighs, rubbing her brow in frustration. This was not on our agenda, Shepard. What is this? What do you want?
What do I want?
He says in a mock surprise.
Why, I simply wish to talk, my captain.
That is something that we can do alone. Do not try to complicate things.
That is not my intention. I just thought this conversation might be more elucidating if you were here. Another perspective, perhaps. I shouldn't have to remind you that as a board member, I may direct my meetings any way I see fit.
Oh, I feel as though that was a mistake. Perhaps I didn't make myself clear last time we spoke. You're free to run your inspections, do whatever your taskmasters have asked, but getting in the way of the station's mission is grounds for termination of contract and immediate expulsion. And if you ever try and pull rank on me again, oh, trust me, I'll find grounds for termination. So, what do you want?
You exaggerate, my captain. Your station's mission is sound, I'm sure, and I hardly feel as though one meeting would disrupt that.
Nails against metal scream as the captain's face twists into something raw. Oh, I do, she says as a low rumble begins to emanate from the room. The cables coming from her shoulder begin to pulse wildly with color, and suddenly I hear klaxons going off behind me as the ground starts to shake ever so slightly. Looking up, I see that by the void, she's rotated the whole station. I found myself almost grabbing onto Reese just to keep balance until everything stops shaking. The eye, now firmly placed above Belle's head, glows bright as the light from her arm dims. Speaking once more, with a tone to mask her anger, she asks, "What do you want?" Reese, however, seems unimpressed. Walking over to her desk, he sits down and gestures to me to follow.
Why, I've already told you, my captain. I simply wish to talk.
Equally unimpressed, she just taps her claws on the desk methodically.
About? Details, contracts, everything in between. I promise that it won't take up too much of your time.
And him?
Simply an observer, as I said. I thought that it pertinent he was here.
She rolls her eyes and gives him a vague hand gesture to continue.
I've begun going over some of the work my predecessor had completed here to find out what I should expect, but so far I found it to be lacking. The recorded notes were not what I had expected.
George always did have a pen in one hand and a bottle in the other. But what of it? This is Soknos' affairs. They're allowed to spend their funds as they see fit. Why bother me with it?
I was just curious if you had any supplementary data that I could go through. Projects completion rates, income expenditures, the likes.
I only have limited access to Soknos' archives from here. You're better off asking for that from your higher-ups, whoever that may be.
I found it best not to waste the time of those above me, but if you've nothing of note, then I'll see what I can do elsewhere.
Picking up on the slight, the captain's eyes twitches as she attempts to keep some semblance of composure.
Well, what about performance reviews? Crew reports?
Those I can get for you. It may take a day or two, though. I'm not sure where I'm scrounging them up from, but I can find something of the likes. Reese nods politely as the captain continues. I understand that you're new to Soknos, Dino, and you seem to manage yourself quite well. But the station has been, well, despite what some may have you believe, we haven't exactly been on the forefront of Soknos' mind for a good number of cycles now. That has given us some leniency to manage things on our own way, which has shown results, mind you. But I apologize if things are not how you expected them to be. This may yet be the cradle of salvation it was meant to be, but it is not Heron. Not everyone is constantly under the knife.
Oh, there is no need to apologize, my captain. I can adapt.
Good. Now my turn for a question. Why are you here?
This again? Please, my captain, I've already told you.
And I told you that I didn't like your answer. Even if you just said that Soknos wants to push the Mayron project, I'd be fine, but you won't. There's something else, isn't there? I mean, for once, Tucker, I'm not sure that this is about you. No, I've done this long enough to know that there's something else that they want. They? The board. Him. She says, gesturing at Reese. His superiors.
That's twice now that you've addressed them as such, my captain. Do you mean Director Zask?
Who? Turning to the captain, though, she just rolls her eyes and looks away.
The head of Soknos' board and lead project manager at Heron. My superior, if that is how it must be put. He is yours as well, is he not?
In a way.
And yet?
You must be new if this is what you find interesting. Anyone on the board could tell you that I don't like him. Void, he knows it himself.
I did not get to know him as well as I had hoped. We worked through intermediaries while I was onboarding, and after that, well, here I am.
Consider yourself lucky then. The shepherd all but sighs in disagreement before continuing.
Well, despite what you may think, I know why I am here, and I intend to do my job to the fullest, as I always have. So, If you would be so kind as to...
Yes, I'll find you the documentation. Is that all? You weren't exactly specific when setting up this meeting. I can see why. She says, shooting me a wicked side-eye. Almost cheery all of a sudden, though, Reese responds with a soft wave of his paw.
I had just one other thing that I would like to discuss before I go, my captain. I was doing some light reading and I found something interesting while going through some of the crew files. Tucker's files, actually.
And here I thought you didn't have access to those files, Director. There is a biting quality to her words as she barks out his title.
Well, I thought it pertinent to look up what I could.
And?
I thought it strange that the terms of his service here were so specifically worded. What exactly did you intend by giving him a contract with no expiration date and no option for termination by default?
What does that mean?
Even my contract has a clause for termination, and yet... Do you know what doesn't have that kind of wording in its documentation? Machinery. Tools. Things. My captain, do you plan on keeping him here forever?
What?
As it is written, Tucker almost has less rights than the machinery lining these walls. Is that right?
It is not, Shepard.
And yet, he's even only summarily classified as part of the crew. Why not apply him for citizenship? I'm sure that would...
He is not a Karain.
That is no boundary. I'm sure that Soknos would be glad to aid in the process. I could even put in the paperwork myself if...
You will do no such thing, she says, slamming her fist on the desk. Tucker's position is under the jurisdiction of the Icaroi II, not Soknos. And, need I remind you, they are not one and the same. So unless you have something else pressing that needs addressing, I'd ask you to stop wasting my time.
And what do you think about this, Comet?
What in the void is he implying, Captain? Am I like... property?
Not now, Tucker.
Am I?
No, just...
Shepard, this meeting is over. Check your monitor in a few marks and I'll have someone send you the files you probably already have access to. Now get out.
A pleasure, my captain. I will let you know when I am coming by next.
As Reese gets to stand, I awkwardly push myself up to, only for Belle to grumble out, "Not you." Through gritted teeth. Unsure as to what to do, and well, by everything right now, I sit back down with a groan.
I'm sure it will be fine, Comet. There is only so much more that can be done. I will be in touch. May the eye be in your favor.
He says as he nods and starts making his way out of the room. I watch as the captain's eyes follow him out, only turning to me as the door closes and locks behind him. Tucker, when I said to keep an eye on him, this is not what I meant. Am I fucking property to you? Do you feel like property, Comet? No. Need I remind you again that if I wanted you in that cell, you'd be in there? He's just trying to poke holes where there are none. Then why the fuck is my contract so wrong? You could no more read the paper that it is written on than understand it, alright? I think you said it best, my dear Captain. I can understand everything. Her eyes twitch before she leans forward, looming over me. You want an answer? Fine. Since you can't seem to help but fall for every nicety put in front of you, I'll make it clear.
Your contract is for your safety, alright? I thought that it was clear when I messaged you that the Icaroid 2 isn't just Sokno's property, it's also property of the Ailean government. And you know what that would make you? Something in between. Not bound to Soknos, not bound by Ailean law, nothing. There is no clause for termination because if there was, Soknos would find it. So, what am I then? Who cares what you are? The more either side wants you, the harder it will be to stop them. But fine, if you want to be impetulant, you're free to go. Take that shepherd's offer and try for citizenship. I won't stop you. I also won't be able to protect you anymore once you do. There will be nothing standing in your way, but no one at your back. Why bother though? Why bother? Tucker, you might think me callous, but that couldn't be farther from the truth. I am simply shaped by what life has brought me. Seeing you torn apart for no reason by two powers you can't control? No, that would bring me less than joy. You are a casualty of fate, Tucker, just as I am. For the first time today, well, ever actually, as the captain before me turns away, she almost looks sad. Maybe that's not the right word, but whatever it is, it's a far cry from her usual stoic anger. I'm sorry. You need not apologize. I understand what it's like to be forced to contend with things outside of your control. It's frustrating, painfully so. I do just wish that you would trust your captain a little more. She has a tendency to speak in riddles. Contend with them. You'll still find her the most straightforward of the lot. It upsets me that she has a point. Her tendency to not mince words is harsh, but necessary. So, what now? I guess I fucked trying to keep an eye on Reese, huh? Unfortunately, I believe it to be the opposite. Huh? Tucker, if anything, you should continue your work as though none of this ever happened. He's shown his paw, and now we just need to see what he does next. Are you sure? Trust me, Comet. Yes, Captain. Good. Should I go then? Yes, I believe so. I need to find that documentation for our friend here. And, well, attend to some things. Please do give me a warning next time, okay? Yeah, sorry. Caught me off guard too, if I'm honest. With a slight nod, I get up and make my way to the doors, only for the captain to speak up one last time. Oh, and Tucker? May the eye be ever in your favor, she says with a knowing smirk. Now get out. And here I thought things would get boring once Soknos showed up. Shows me. It's strange, I find myself trusting both sides in a way. Maybe not Soknos, but Reese for sure. I still don't know if I should. But I think I do. Cautiously optimistic, that's the best that I can do for now. I mean, I only trust the captain more because I met her first. She's done well by me, sure, but still. Rowan? I know that I can trust Rowan. Maybe that's the most important thing here. I'd love to just be able to trust them all, but they make it so hard sometimes. Now I'm starting to think that I just have trust issues. Heading back, I can only barely manage to stop myself as I come to a corridor. I hear someone just on the other side. It sounds like Reese? I figured that he had left by now, but maybe he's waiting for me? Hey, you didn't have to. He's on the phone with someone. It's fine. I can catch him another time. Although, it kind of feels like I should maybe. Eavesdrop? By the void, that's so fucking rude. But the captain literally ordered me to. Fuck, alright. If it sounds unrelated, I'll leave. Pressing myself against the wall, I do my best to overhear what I can. Told you that No, no, sir. Yes, of course, but what of him? Yes, I've made contact, but no, no, yes, of course. I just ask that you let me do it my own way. Of course, it will be done. May the eye be ever in your... Must have lost connection. Is the last thing that I hear before he walks further down the hall and out of earshot. Well, that was not enough to make any assumptions, but still. By the fucking void, what am I to do? Well, right now the best thing that I can do is get cleaned up and ready to talk to Rowan. If he even shows up. I'm starting to wish that maybe tomorrow could forever come a little slower. Walking back to the executive suites is pretty uneventful, right up until I get to the partition leading to our rooms. Looking through the glass, I see something sitting next to the door, and I can't help but get a little worried. Getting inside, however, I can still see it's just a box. A damn big one, but still. It kinda looks similar to the box my uniform arrived in, actually. Is this the stuff that Reese had brought me? He didn't say anything about it earlier, but it could be. Maybe he left a note? One that I wouldn't be able to read? Gently pushing on the box, though, I find it's a bit too heavy to move, and decide to leave it as is. I'll just get Rowan to help me with it later. Stepping inside, however, I find it oddly cool all of a sudden. Did someone fuck with the thermostat? It was certainly nicer earlier. Maybe I'm just imagining it. Stripping off my jacket, I start a shower for myself as I get ready for the evening. Everything's where I left it, so I doubt Rowan was home at any point. I do hope that I get to see him at some point, at least in the morning or something. Reaching for my pajamas, however, I can't help but notice the slightest of ticks in my hand. Is it that damn cold? Going to rub my palm, however. Fuck, I'm freezing. Damn it, someone must have changed something because the heat is definitely off. By the void, it almost feels like it's to the bone. Well, it's nothing a hot shower won't fix. It hasn't fixed it. My head has been pressed against the glass for what feels like almost a mark now, burning water teetering down my back, and yet my arm still feels cold. I keep pressing on my forearm, but nothing is working, and out of sheer frustration, I slam a fist into the thick glass. I barely even felt that. I really hope that I'm not getting sick or something. I hadn't even thought about that. Probably best if I kept not thinking about it, actually. Opening and closing my hand, I almost feel like there's some sensation coming back, but it's so minimal. Fuck. Maybe I should send Merowyn a message and... Fuck! Rowan? That sounded like it came from the room, but I don't think that I heard anyone come in. Did I just miss them, or is someone at the door? Maybe Reese wanted to check in again? It figures that he'd say something after dropping off that box, and also that he'd just show up instead of messaging me. Give me a minute. I worthlessly announce, knowing that there is no way someone in the hallway could hear me from here. Turning off the water, I go to grab a towel before... That didn't really sound like someone knocking. Quickly drying off, I throw some boxers and a shirt before cautiously peeking into the room. However, it doesn't seem like there is anyone here besides me. Geez, maybe someone tried to move that box? I didn't think that it was that heavy. Creeping up to the door, I slowly slide it open. Only to find that no one is out here either. The hallway's still empty and the box hasn't moved at all. I guess it could have been the pipes? Although, the last time that I thought something was the pipes, My skin runs cold as the sound, now more clearly than ever, can be heard from behind me. Frantic now, I whirl around only to be faced with an empty room. What is this? Hello? My hand starts to shake as... Not just shake, move. My fingers begin to contort on their own and I have to grab my arm just to stop it. Roots. Biting and deep cut through me as I press down on my clammy skin. It's as if a cold that sank in over hours just emerged all at once. It's awful and striking and it's spreading. Stumbling back into the room, I attempt to get to my bed and collapse. But the fucking void, am I having a... I stop where I am as the door shuts behind me, locking tight. What? Hey, who's there? I crane my neck to see, only to be met by a sharp pain and... a sudden buzz, a frightening chill, and I slam into the wall. No pain there, just a certain bitterness, the taste of iron and... a familiar nothingness. No, not here. Please, no. A black eye and a broken heart. Rowan, anyone, please, What once was now drift apart. Clawing my way across the room, I can barely reach my bed, my jacket, my monitor. By the void, how am I still standing? Forcing it open, I frantically attempt to send out a message before forever forced to play their part. I have the phone. I can see it, feel it. But I can't type. I can't hit send. I can't reach out. Oh, it's you. To be continued. Thank you for reading. Written and illustrated by Cryptid. I'd like to give credit to Tom TC and Nick Rose for the fantastic menu art. I'd like to give credit to Tom TC and Nick Rose for the fantastic menu art. I'd like to give thanks to Brandel for the amazing amount of work that they've done proofreading. Thank you to David Odell for the music, Pierce for the menu track, and thank you to Zoe for the sound edit. Thank you to all my Patreons. This project would be impossible without your support. And special thanks to Winter Answer, Marcy, Nefarious, Blitz, and May. May our roads again cross. Ah, poor Tucker. Well, what are your thoughts on Reese? He strikes me as someone that does have an agenda. I mean, obviously he was on call with probably the main guy, the main Socknose director. And they were probably telling him like, hey, you need to like get this guy on our side and like, you know, because we want them. We want the alien. And it's kind of like how the captain said, like, if you gain citizenship, there is no way that anyone can basically help you because they're going to probably do stuff to you. They're going to kidnap you. They're going to say that you're property of the government or property of Socknose, and we get to do with whatever we want with you. And only being an employee at the Icaroi 2 is essentially the only way for Tucker to be free, even though the Icaroi 2 is now just basically a bigger jail cell for him. So my opinion is I do not trust the Husky. And I have more trust in the captain than I do in the Husky. Oh my god, it's so late.
But I'm reading this all for you guys. Mostly the people that pay me, because they're the ones that are going to see this, like, basically, I don't know, tomorrow if I edit this in one day. It's like 3 hours already. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh yeah, Reese. I do not trust Mr. Little Reese's Pieces. That's basically how Cryptid told me to pronounce it. Reese, like Reese's Pieces. Because he knows that I have trouble pronouncing names, and I asked. What else? I kind of feel like you probably should have contacted Merowyn as soon as you started feeling a little weird, Tucker. If nothing else, for at least somebody to be out there who would come rushing and, like, you know, to try to help you. Or at least, you know, confirm that, like, the little tea that Reese gave you isn't the cause of this. Because I kind of also feel that, Socknose fully investing themselves in Tucker and then pretending like, oh no, you're not important. We're not here for you. We just know everything about you and, like, what you can eat, if you're, you know, etc., etc. Like, you know, that was intentional. So perhaps the tea is having some side effects, some intended side effects. So yeah. Rowan, your roommate, cough cough, really needs you right now, so hopefully you arrive sooner rather than later. And maybe, I don't know, Maruk too, like, he should at least be appraised about the fact that the Socknose executive is taking an interest in Tucker. And even though this is not his route, you would think that he would still be a little bit concerned. Maybe you too, Merowyn, because, like, you were supposed to be, like, the alien expert, and, like, apparently you are not. You're more like the alien amateur, the alien novice, the alien tinkerer. What is a more demeaning word for somebody that is just stupidly bumbling through something? I'm mean to him, but I like Merowyn. I like all three of them. Anyways, yeah, so a lot of suspicious behaviors from Reese. It really did seem like he was being very like, oh, you see, little comet? I'm even, see how these people are treating you? See how all these worthless people are treating you? Oh my god. Don't you think you deserve better? I can give you better, little comet. My little comet. Even the name Comet, the way that he uses it, in my head, it sounds very, like, demeaning. Kind of like if he thinks, kind of like he thinks of Tucker as, like, a dog, like a pet, like an exotic animal that he kind of wants, and he wants to claim ownership of, then, like, this person, you know? So yeah, I don't trust him. Anywho, so what are your thoughts? Write it down in the comments, and thank you all for watching / listening. If you would like to play Roads Yet Traveled or stay up to date with what's going on with it, you can you can do so by going down into the link in the description, which should have a direct link for the itch.io page where you can download and play the game. Thankfully, these visual novels are being re-indexed by itch.io after, you know, the whole debacle with the payment processors, which is still ongoing as at the time of recording. And all the payment processors are going like, we didn't tell itch.io and Steam to remove these things. Stop being mad at us, please. Stop writing articles and stop putting our names in the news and being mean to us, please. If you can't, continue calling them and, you know, calling them out on their bullshit. Especially because Steam and Actually, I think itch.io put out their own statement saying like, no, they kind of did. They didn't do it directly, but they contacted the middlemen between us and them to basically bully us to remove the game. So like, it was still them. They just used somebody else to do it. So like, yeah. Even Collective Shout, the whole people who sort of made all of this happen are going like, no, we contacted them to do this for us. So like, it's on them. No one else. Just on MasterCard and Visa and Stripe and PayPal. So yeah, like, they're trying to shift blame, but like, we know that it's them. Those jackasses. Anyways, but yeah, so visual novels are getting put back. Hopefully all of them get put back, but like, yeah, all links will be there. If there ends up being alternative links that I have to link to, then I will link those too. Cryptid, maybe change that stupid little bird icon to the blue sky one, or at the blue sky one, because fuck Twitter. Anyways, but yeah, so if you would like to support Roads Yet Traveled like I do, subscribe to their Patreon and get earlier access to builds of Roads Yet Traveled and see like little works in progress and things like that. Cryptid posts those types of things. Like if there's going to be a new character, you're going to see it first before everyone else. Depending on your tier, you might even get like your own little thing on the credits. But yeah, so like, do that. Anywho, it's late. I am tired. I want to go to sleep. But support the channel. Become a channel member. It helps support me too. Or if you can't do that, then do it through Ko-fi. Like, donate. It helps. Trust me, it really does. Especially nowadays. Fuck Trump. Also Throne, in case you're feeling very generous or have some spare pocket change. There's stuff on there. I promise it's not stupid. It's not just books. There's other stuff there. What else? You can buy me a movie ticket. What else? I guess that's it. I'm tired. I want to go to sleep. I'll probably send a message to Cryptid and tell him that I read it. And then be like, oh my god. You're husky. Oh, speaking of, if you made it this far here, I'm gonna show you some cursed images of Rowan and everyone's favorite husky. No, not Reese. I already forgot his name. What was his name? Loken. Rowan and Loken. Look. Oh my god. This is official, okay? This is an official thing. Rowan and Loken are a thing. The autistic husky and the, I mean, arguably maybe autistic wolf. I don't know. I'm tired. Anyways, good night. Bye.